Are there any other couples out there that never argue? I don't think we've ever had an argument, and we've been together 11 years. I've never seen my parents argue, and they've been married for 38 years. We handle disagreements as a team. Do you have children? Children are wonderful, and can also be a source of stress. My sister and her husband are child-free and seem to have a tranquil marriage. We still argue, but that is okay. We don't have to agree on everything. And we have an overarching main goal. Been together since 1996. And having a little friction is a good thing. We are both strong persons, so it's natural that we both want to have it our way. Relationship-wise, I would have to say in regard to arguing that there seems to be a particular friction point around 6 to 8 years. There's a term for that, 7-year itch. Also a film starring Marilyn Monroe. For committed couples, I urge you to be especially attentive and understanding during that phase. Be patient and try to not take everything in the worst possible way. Try to talk to each other. At that stage in the relationship, I think folks reach a new level of familiarity. And one shows a more true version of one's own core being. It's a passing phase. And relationships that survive this ordeal are stronger for it. I have experienced this myself and seen it countless times in the years since 1996. To prepare for this inevitable trial, work on honest communication. We don't. And for the reason you already mentioned, we learned that when there's a disagreement, we come to the table with respect and listening to one another to find a compromise. Some of that took a little time to learn by going to a couples counselor, which I highly recommend for any couples out there considering it or especially are afraid of it. I think there's a stigma about seeing a counselor in too many places. But they're really just a tool for helping you to understand yourselves and each other. Then figure out how to balance that dynamic. My wife and I very rarely argue, and always make a point to reconcile as quickly as possible. We both hate drama. We agreed soon after the birth of our kid that being on the same side of any discussion about the child was far more important than being right. Me and my BF. We don't fight. Maybe once a year, but it's because of stupid things. Maybe it's because we talk about everything and he's my best friend. We are child-free. My wife and I have known each other going on 17 years now and been together 13-14 of them. We just don't get that angry at one another. We have regularly been accused of still being in THR honeymoon phase, which is hilarious to me. In my experience, most married couples don't argue much before children. If they did, they wouldn't get married. Children change everything, however. This is called a healthy relationship. Most couples don't have that. They'll tell you they do. They don't. Here, 10 years together, married for 1 month. We set all the disagreements as adults. No yelling. Also, there aren't many disagreements. Don't have children though, and don't want to. I have always thought arguments are a necessity in relationships. Then I met the wonderful woman I am dating now, and we have never had a heated argument, and I don't foresee ever having one with her because I have learned the difference between arguing and disagreeing. There will always be disagreements, including ones that will not be resolved. But we talk about things healthily and it doesn't dissolve into arguments. This is what feels right to me. My wife and I are the same way. We haven't argued since we started dating, and we're learning to communicate with each other. Now we have a mutual understanding. Even when there's an issue, we just work through it together, not against each other. Been together 9 years. My partner and I don't argue. Sometimes there's some snappiness when stressed, but no shouting. 25 plus years. And we almost never argue. We also talk through stuff and at times disagree. But our goal always is to reach an agreement and do so in an empathetic manner. Been together for 17 years. Argued maybe 3 times. All the arguments were because we were both cranky from having a bad day and were resolved next day. I can't remember the last time my husband and I argued. We've been annoyed with each from time to time, or if I'm too hungry I get snippy, but I fully warn my family that I need to eat because I'm hangry lol. But arguing? Nah. He's my best friend. It's super easy to get along with him. My fiancé and I have been together almost 4 years now. We have never yelled at each other or had any fights. Disagreements are normal, but we discuss them without getting into an argument. Married 19+ years. We have teenagers now. We have had few arguments, disagreements for sure. But those are the exception, not the rule. Generally we get along well. Been with Misa since 2008. Had a son in 2010. I can count all the real arguments we've ever had on one hand still. We communicate pretty well and constantly let each other know how we feel and what we would or wouldn't like. I feel like it's mostly that communication that keeps everything running smoothly. When I watch my parents argue and threaten divorce for the umpteenth time, I can't help but notice they often actually agree about whatever they're rowing over, but communicate it so poorly that they somehow think they have opposing viewpoints. It's incredibly exhausting, and I long ago, even before meeting Misa, had already decided there would be no way I would run my relationships that way. Yeah, my wife and I are this way too. We very rarely have any real disagreements. She's super chill though, so I'm going to credit her with it more than myself.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.